Since the beginning of video games, gamers all over the world have dreamed of a time when we could take our beloved video games with us wherever we went. And it wasn't until the Game Boy's creation where we were able to fully realize a console-like experience on the go.
Sure, there was the Game & Watch, and if you wanted to go back even more, there were these Mattel handheld games that used light diodes and bleeps and beeps. But it wasn't until 1989 when Nintendo designer Gunpei Yokoi, who many consider the father of modern-day portable gaming, came up with the idea of the Game Boy when he noticed a bored businessman messing around with a calculator. With it, we got full games designed with levels and graphics and musical compositions.
Whether you were lugging around Sega's big boy Game Gear or something tiny like the Game Boy Micro, or to hell, even Sega's own Game Gear Mini that's coming out soon, handheld gaming has evolved.
My very first handheld experience came in the form of an original Game Boy around age 2 or 3, but who knows what happened to that one. And then on my 5th birthday I got a Game Boy Color bundle from Toys R Us. Rest in peace. With Pokemon Blue version and the strategy guide.
And since then I've been a bigger fan of portable gaming than actual at-home gaming. But the very first video game console I purchased with my own bucks was the Nintendo DS. Though this isn't the original DS I bought myself 16 years ago, since I've long traded up to the 3DSs that I have today, I still want to experience that same feeling I got all those years ago. And you know me, I don't want any of those Final Fantasies or those Pokemon Soul Silvers, though these are fantastic games in their own right. I want those weird games. Now the first game I want to look at is this little known game that not a lot of people know of, called Contact, published by some random company nobody really talks about. Atlas? The first interaction I had with this game was back when the R4 was getting traction and pirating games was cool. Not that it's ever been cool. But Contact has always stuck with me from being way different from any of the other DS's games I had played at the time.
Here's the case presentation. Things you won't find in Contact: a dull moment, normalcy, a guy with spiky hair wait, spiky? With an E? Is that how do you spell spiky? Is it with an E?
Things you will find in Contact: monkeys, cosmic terrorists, powerful attack stickers, fishing, cooking, humor, fun with Nintendo Wi-Fi. Yeah, rest in peace. A deeper meaning in life. Costumes that increase your power and make you more fun to be around. Wait, what is this? There's a little asterisk. Deeper meaning in life. Results may vary.
The very presentation of the game brings feelings of nostalgia. The start menu uses function keys to select menu options and harkens to the 16-bit era with its graphics. The game starts off with a scene in a spaceship with a tiny professor and a white creature walking around. As you continue to observe, you really can't do anything but look at them go about their routine. But when you poke the professor, you get his attention and he goes on about finally being able to communicate with someone out there, or we've made contact. He then asks about our details, name, where we're from. Alarms go off as the ship lands in front of a dreaming boy and is hurried into the spaceship to escape his pursuers. They get shot down and end up on a beach. The way it plays is kind of like Zelda, with a top-down view for exploration and combat. Enemies are seen on the map and items are obtained through chests.
Combat, on the other hand, plays very similar to RuneScape of all games. You initiate a battle, whip out your weapon, whatever it is you do to start the combat, and it all comes down to behind-the-scene number rolls and calculations. So essentially, the higher your stat is, the better you'll do in battle and exploration.
There are also stickers you can find throughout the world that gives you either set bonuses or can be stuck from the player's view on the screen of the DS, which actually the professor mentions that it's a method of communication in a device called a DS.
Contact is one of those games I definitely never hear anybody talk about, and it's definitely got a very laid-back feel to it. It's got cooking and fishing, different costumes to help you perform different activities, I definitely think it's one to keep in the collection. The next game I have here is Final Fantasy. No. Fighting Fantasy. Really? Really? That's the name they went with?
Actually, the game is based off a series of choose-your-own-adventure books by Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson, but with dice rolling, RPG elements, and the ability to customize a character. It's like single-player D&D.
But this time around, instead of what you would think be a point-and-click adventure, they've done something more akin to a mobile version of The Elder Scrolls. Which, granted, there already is one. So
the game starts off with a sort of psyche test of sorts to determine your class by the end of the segment, though you do get the option to respec your points and choose how to distribute them.
Though the only downside to this game being very limited in the different things you can do and branch out in respect to leveling up. You can't really be a jack of all trades, as it's just going to make the game even harder. It's better to focus down your stats into one category, or maybe branch off into two.
You travel from Analand to the land of Alanesia in search of fame and glory, though your main objective is to seek the boundless treasures Firetop Mountain holds, guarded by a warlock. The Warlock of Firetop Mountain. It's a first-person action RPG in the same vein as the Elder Scrolls games, though I feel it harkens back to the days of classic first-person dungeon crawlers, even though I feel Elves and Orcs did a better job, or the Darkspire. This is more open-ended and free-roaming, where you control the camera with a touchscreen and move around with the D-pad.
I love the graphics though, and the game is super ambient and very atmospheric. I love the hand-drawn sprites, as it does make me feel like I'm playing a storybook. But the game is punishingly difficult. Sometimes you'll enter a room and the enemies there will be way above your level and you just get wombo combo to death and there's nothing you can do about it.
Though there is this weird glitch, I don't know if it's any remnants that the developers left as part of a debug menu, but I found this out while playing that lets you bypass the lockpicking minigame.
Oh yeah, there's a lockpicking minigame like Skyrim and Oblivion.
Instead of having to manually unlock a locked lock, you go up to the lock and open your inventory. Then you select the bag icon that is supposed to show you the items in your general vicinity to pick up and transfer to your bag, but instead it reveals the contents of the chest and you can just take them.
I felt bad after discovering this at first, since I do like to complete games the way they were intended to be played, but it allowed me to bypass that stupid lockpicking minigame, and some chests are unlocked to begin with, so I can just pretend they're all unlocked. The next game we're going to take a look at today is definitely one of the wildest games I've seen, like literally up there with Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom, man. Zack and Wiki, Quest for Barbarossa's treasure. Little Red Riding Hood's Zombie Barbecue. Look at that title. My copy is sealed because apparently it definitely costs quite a pretty penny to some collectors out there. Also, my girlfriend got it for me as a testament to my love for just weird and wild games for Christmas, and man.
Zombie Barbecue is a top-down vertical shooter in the same style as Ikaruga or the arcade games like 1941, though instead of piloting a ship and acquiring power-ups, you play as either the titular Little Red Riding Hood or some ninja. I don't care. Little Red Riding Hood with the gun is badass enough to pick her. The levels are fairly lengthy and the gameplay is rather smooth. Controls are with the left and right D-pad, and attacks and firing your weapon is as simple as touching the screen where you want to shoot, and reloading happens when you lift off of the screen. You also get a sexy dodge. No, really, that's what they call it, sexy dodge. You tap Little Red and she does a duck animation which allows her to avoid damage.
The game is pretty fun, and coming home after a long day and you want to just turn off your brain and just kill some zombies that have taken over the land of fairy tale on your way to grandma's house who may or may not have turned into a zombie, sign me up. Handhelds have always been my main method of gaming for years, since my family and I were always out on the road. Whether it was playing Monster Hunter on the PSP or Golden Sun on the GBA, I've always been a big advocate of portable entertainment.
We can see how Nintendo has always been king of handhelds, and no other company has been able to come close to capturing the feeling of precise control and fun entertainment on the go.
I love my Nintendo Switch. I think it's going to go down in history as one of the greatest video game consoles of all time. But the Nintendo DS still holds a special place in my heart, if not for its backwards compatibility, because I took it with me on many journeys with my family and different vacations. I know there's many more video games for us to discover, and it's up to me to find the hidden gems. So, I've got some video games to do. And until next time, I'll see you later.